Hey everybody, captaingrambo back here with another video. Today we're going to be doing another server tutorial. The main reason being is because a lot of people have been having problems with getting their servers to work properly. Also, a lot of people can't figure out the git bash. So today I'm going to be showing you some alternative ways to do things, and we're going to go over the setup process for a server all over again. And today this one's going to be on Windows 10, so let's get started. Okay, before you can even start your server, there's a lot of beforehand stuff that we have to make sure that we can do. Otherwise, you'll just be wasting your time. Go ahead and check in your ports under Apps and Gaming, somewhere in your router information. If you need more help on this, be sure to ask me and I'll show you. You'll want to find the range forwarding, and you'll want to create one of these here. Make sure that the start and end point are both 255.65. The device IP address, which is your private IP address, which can be found under the Network Settings, down in Network and Sharing Center, and you'll hit the Connections, and then the Details, and you'll find your private IP address right here. And that's the one that you'll enter in right here. You'll enable it, and you'll make the protocol for both. And then you'll save it, apply it, and hit OK. The next thing you want to do is set up a subdomain, because you don't want everybody to know your public IP address. I don't mind giving mine out because I have DDoS protection. That is the main reason I suggest that you don't give out your public IP address. But if you have a way to where you're protected from that, go for it. So the first thing you want to do is search for your IP address. Easy enough in Google, it'll pop it up. And then you want to go under subdomains, and then you're going to add one. And you're going to select your domain. They've got a ton of them. But then you're going to choose your name, like the physical name. So I would always choose captain. So it'd be captain.chickenkiller.com. But of course, they've got many more you can choose from, and you can set that up however you like. Can't choose your domain, but you can choose your subdomain. And as always, this is a free site. So then you'll add your destination, which is the IP address we just spoke of. And then you'll want to type in this information and save it. One thing to keep in mind is a lot of people's public IP address is constantly changing. So if you're looking to run a 24/7 server, either talk with your service provider about setting up a static IP address, or you're going to have to change it every single time that it goes down. Alright, so now that we've got that under control, if you're ready to go with that, the next thing we want to do is go to and download Git. I'll have all the downloads below, but I've already set it up, so there's no reason for me to do it. Also get Notepad++, it makes editing so much easier for your entire server. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start off by downloading the latest build tools via this forum on Spigot. We're going to download it to our desktop in the new folder that we created. And once we've downloaded those, we're going to come down here. Down in here is some information about a batch file that we can use to start up and download all the files we need. So this is a lot easier and a lot more smooth as opposed to what we've done in the past. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that, and then we're going to go into Notepad++. We're going to paste it. But we're going to change some things. So right here they say something about how you can change the version number that you want. So I'm going to copy this. It says just to replace this line here. And we're going to put in our version number right here. So I'm going to do 1.8.7. Not sure what the latest is, but I'm just doing that so that you can all see that you can create a file to download the right thing. Alright, and before we're completely done, we need to make sure that we have the program files properly in the place. 86 is if you have a 32-bit system, and regular is if you just have 64-bit. So then we're going to save it as a bat. We're going to change the name to and then I'm going to save that to that second folder. And we're going to close this out. And then we're going to come into our folder and start it up. So as you can see, it's working a little bit here. But just keep in mind that it will not download if you are using the wrong program files location. Alright, so make sure that you use program files if you're on a 64-bit computer and 86 if you're using 32-bit. And the way we can find this is by going into our system information. It'll say 64-bit or 32-bit operating system. Okay? And that's how we know. And now we're just going to wait for all of this to be created. Alright, now that you see that everything's done, it'll pop up with something that says like success. Press any key to continue. Don't be surprised if it takes a while. I mean, honestly, it takes like a long time. I mean, I was able to go and have breakfast and come back and it was still going. So, just giving you a little bit of a heads up. Takes a while. Okay? So we're going to continue. There. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our Start.bat for the server. We're going to edit this with Notepad++. Again, I'll have this down in the description, blah, blah, blah. You get it by now. Start off with an echo off so it's not, giving you a bunch of unnecessary code. So then you'll put the Java version or /version, then Java, XMX, the total amount of gigabytes that you want to use for your server. I use 2. It's not like I have 50 people coming on a test server. So then we do the name of the jar. That's very imperative because that's what this is down here. You have a Craft Bucket version that it gave you and a Spigot version. I'm going to use Spigot. I always use Spigot. So whatever you name this needs to be the same name as that. Alright, and then you're going to hit pause. I've already done it. I've already even set up my server, have everything in there, but for the sake of it, just for you guys, I'm going to create another one. So down here in the new folder, I'm going to call it YouTube to test server. And in there, I'm going to go ahead and just, make a copy of this. But I'm going to change the name of it. Otherwise, the start command is going to get confused as to what name I want to use. Because if I use Spigot again, it's going to try to launch that other one in the other folder. So I'm going to call it Spigot 1.8.8. Alright. And then we're going to get this, because that's the one I just did. Drag it in there. We're going to start it up. Alright, and you're going to wonder, why did it stop? That's because you have to agree to the EULA. You're going to come over here, change the false to true, save it. Very important to save. We're going to start it again. Alright, you're going to see it's going to be creating all of this stuff. It's going to be starting up your server, getting it good to go. And then we're just going to wait. Alright, now that it's done, you can go ahead and stop the server because we got a little bit of work to do. Alright, it's going to take forever to save. And then you're going to come down here, you're going to notice right here, server properties, edit that with Notepad++. Come down here, change whatever you need to change. I'm not going to walk you through it, but I'm going to give you a little bit of information. Down here in your MOTD, you can change that to something like color-wise. That's the code you use. And then you would put your color like B is blue, C is red, A is green. So we're going to do A, YouTube test server 1. And then I'm going to change the maximum amount of players to 1. I don't want anybody coming on while I'm doing this. We don't really have any of this other stuff, but you're welcome to look through it. It's pretty self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and just get essentials. And we're going to bring that into our YouTube test server plugins. We're going to save it in here. And then we're also going to get the spawn, because otherwise you can't do /spawn. Remember that. A lot of people were telling me they had problems with that. But then we're going to save the chat. And the next thing we're going to get is we're going to log into guest here. We're going to download this jar. Anyways, just make sure you got all the plugins in your plugins folder. And we're going to come back to the desktop, go into our test server, and we're going to start it up again. So now that we're good there, let's go ahead and op ourselves in the console. It's always good to op ourselves. Alright, and then we're going to come into the server and test it out. So now you can see it's updated because I'm on the same IP address. My previous server was a different thing. So we're going to go ahead and come in here. And of course our map's going to be different because we did a different server. You're going to see there's a lot of default stuff like no name because we haven't set it up yet. So, and I'm going to briefly and quickly show you how to set that up. Now we're going to come into the plugins after stopping our server. And we're going to come into the plugins. You can see it's created some folders. Come into Essentials, the configuration, Notepad++. Again, I made another video on this, so there's not really a reason for me to have to go over it. Again, there's not a whole lot you really need to go over, but just save it. And then this is the confusing part, is the GroupManager, because there's so much that you have to do. But I'm going to go ahead and copy over my configuration. And just for you guys, I might leave it down there below in the description. Probably not, but I understand it's complicated. But you can really look up most of this stuff. And again, I made a video on this, so don't be lazy. Go check out my other videos if you need to. Alright, so now we're back in the game, and if you wanted to, you could come in here and change up some information like I did. I put in a new prefix. You can see I tested it there, but again, I have another video on that giving a lot more information, so if you need to, you can watch that. I also did another Essentials video. I did some other plugins like Factions. So, and again, I have another series coming up with a bunch of plugins that'll be great for your server, and I hope you'll stick around to watch those. Please do subscribe. It helps a lot. Like the video if you liked it. Also, right up on the screen, there you'll see that I have my Skype that you can contact me at if you need any help with anything. Also, I'm going to put up the server of the day. If you want to have your server advertised, all you need to do is subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. If you have subscribed, I'll check it and then put your server up there. Alright, so thanks for watching. Come back for more.